So the question is, to what extent did Ali Shariati and Abdul Hakim Murad, aka Tim Winter, have opposing views on justice and liberation in Islam? This is because the specification wants you to know these two modern scholars and also kind of compare them, look at similarities, look at differences, look at strengths, look at weaknesses. So this one is really asking you to look at the two of them and to what extent are they opposing? Are they opposite each other? Are they kind of got completely different views that are against each other and are totally different arguments? Or have they got quite a lot of similar ideas, but perhaps they're going about it in a different way? Or perhaps they've got essentially the same idea with a few differences because they're writing at different times for different people and different circumstances. So you have to sort of decide, and hopefully in class, between me making this video and you writing this plan, we will have talked about that. So really you have to decide, what are you going to argue? That they're essentially the same, they've got the same view, or perhaps they are different views, but not really opposed to each other. They're just different parts of Islam. Different ways of achieving the same justice and liberation of Islam? Or are they basically the same view, but like different times, different places? I guess that's the three I would go for, those three options. And then you need to sort of give your points as to why you think that that view is so good that you've got. Why are they so similar, if that's what you've argued? What are some of the key similarities, some of the things you could say that are the same? Or why are they different? What are some of the key differences? And obviously you need to tailor that to your thesis. So whatever your thesis is, you need to, the line of argument, the thing that you're arguing, you need to tailor your point. So I might argue that they are not opposed to each other. They're just different sides of Islam with the same central message of Islam, but done in different ways. So I might do one point, first of all, as to what is that central message that they both share, and show how they've both got this same message of justice and liberation. So Ali Shariati has this idea that we have to fight against injustice and do the right thing, and people have gone astray with their ideas of Islam, and we need to go back to the core teachings of Islam and fight against the injustice. And so does Tim Winter. He says that, radicals and extremists and fundamentalists have gone too far and they need to go back to the core understanding of Islam. I think that's fairly similar. But then the way they're doing it is slightly different. So I would say that I'd have to say why that's a strong argument and say why that's so convincing that they are essentially the same, if that was my thesis. If I was arguing that they were essentially very different and kind of opposed to each other in different sides and different arguments, you could take the idea that Tim Winter is a Sunni scholar and Ali Shariati is a Shia, and Ali Shariati is drawing a lot on Imam Hussein's martyrdom and lots of Shia ideas that Tim Winter wouldn't agree with. You could say that that's different. Or you could argue that Sufism and the idea of that kind of inner spirituality that Abdul Hakim Murad is talking about, that inner purification and liberation is kind of very inner spiritual thing, is just too different to Ali Shariati's outer physical sort of fighting to take over and have a revolution and get rid of the oppressors sort of externally. So that's a way I could say that they're different. So really what you need to do is think of what are your three main points that you want to make that cover information about Ali Shariati and Abdul Hakim Murad. So how are you going to get the key information in about who they were, what their ideas were, and what was it based on? And then you need to obviously do the evaluation as to why that point is strong or not in backing up your thesis. So you have to bring every paragraph back to what you actually think. Are they opposed to each other, or are they essentially the same, with the same kind of message, but perhaps in different ways? So I've deliberately chosen quite a tricky one. And I'm hoping you can really get your teeth into it and think about it. And in class, we'll go over what we mean by this, and hopefully you can rewatch my video and it will help you. But the idea is that you are sort of comparing them and seeing, are they against each other or are they actually the same idea, essentially, within Islam?